Hi, this is Majinoni, and here is another episode of The Good, The Bad, and The Disappointing. Who will end up on top this week? And who will be in the cesspile of the bottom? Let's take a look at The Good. Superior Spider-Man. I am telling you, the end of this issue was simply amazing. Peter Parker would never, in a billion years, do what Doc Ock did. It's just plain and simple. Basically, what's going on is Spider-Man is out trying to figure out what's going on with the Hobgoblin and how come he can't figure out, one, how he got away, and two, how come he's avoiding detection. And while that's going on, we also have the Hobgoblin is very stressed because he needs money. His cash flow is gone now with the Kingpin. And we are learning more about the potential downfall of Spider-Man, because not only do we have Charlie, but we have two people now on the case. Also, we have Mary Jane going, wait a second, something's not right. So more key people are getting involved into this, and hopefully we're going to see a storyline soon about people digging into who this person really is. Now, pushing that aside for a second, the art is still fantastic. I love the way they're drawing the characters, the panels, and even you have a moment where Ox Spider is basically sitting there going, "How did Peter do this? Because I'm having trouble, and I am a superior person." So it's things like that really are adding into making this book a very good read. And I think the fact that Doc basically is showing just a slight bit of, well, while I am better, how did Peter do it? Is showing that, he's not perfect yet. And that's, I think, going to also cause him to try to overcompensate for things and probably lead to more mistakes later on down the road. And I'm not going to spoil the very end, but we got some good things coming. The Goblin fight with Spider-Man is going to be amazing. That's, at least that's my feeling, that the way this is building up. And the Hobgoblin got taken out to the trash, and he's going to be due for some serious trouble next issue. So when we see that issue cover with the sword going through his chest, I would not be surprised if something like that happens, because he is in some serious trouble. And this issue was fantastic. Personally, I would love to get a poster of this too. This was a great read. Next up is The Bad, and that is Trinity War tie-in Phantom Stranger number 11. Okay, obviously DC doesn't understand something about a tie-in. When you do a tie-in, what you really should be doing is something to advance the storyline. Now, in this issue, I had a lot of hope that we were going to learn things and something good was going to come from it, because basically what's going on is the Phantom Stranger takes some, Batman, Katana, and Deadman to heaven to talk to Dr. Light. So when you hear something like that, you're thinking, wow, maybe Dr. Light knows something. Maybe there's a clue that's going to lead us to the next part. Maybe, there's something that he knows, and I'll get to what we learn in just a second. Now, this trip to heaven is really uneventful, and I really do think that this is a type of issue that probably could have gone longer. Maybe an issue or two more. Because basically what's going on is you have Katana and Batman in their own private heavens. Because, Phantom Stranger's like, well, everybody's heaven is a little bit different. And so I thought something like this part could have been delved in maybe a little bit more. Not necessarily the fact that, here's the Phantom Stranger, he goes, there's Bruce Wayne sitting as a kid, you get a couple panels and he leaves, but I mean just more content, something to draw you in to the storyline a little bit more. But then, by the time I got to the end of this issue, let me tell you, I was kind of glad that it was over too, because this was the biggest waste of my time that I read this week. In fact, I wish I didn't read this book and I read something else in its place. Because, see, the thing is, and here's going to be a big spoiler for you. Do you know what we learn from Dr. Light? Absolutely nothing. He doesn't know anything. What is this issue? A complete waste of time. Complete waste. Learned absolutely nothing. I'm baffled by the decision that DC made with putting out this book, and they dare to call this a tie-in, and they didn't do jack shit. Nothing. Nothing. We learned absolutely nothing to advance the storyline. Did we learn anything about Bruce Wayne in heaven? Absolutely not. Did we learn anything about Katana? Well, probably, maybe, I don't know. I haven't been reading the Katana miniseries, but if we had, maybe there's a clue there that we didn't learn anything at all. And did we learn anything about heaven? Well, who really cares? And did we learn anything important about Dr. Light? No. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. A complete waste of time. A complete waste of effort. And I really want my money back. And even when Phantom Stranger's going, Batman, we really can't go because, I was told if I ever come back, they're gonna destroy me. And, Batman goes, well, okay, but, he's got a family. Okay, fine, let's go. Really? It took that much to convince? Yeah, I don't want to see a comment about, well, Phantom Stranger had a family, and that's why he went to heaven in the first place to get them. I don't freaking care, because he knew the consequences. He knew that there was a 0% chance of coming back. Now, I guess maybe the fact that maybe he thought, well, maybe the angels were playing poker and they wouldn't notice him, or maybe he could have snuck Dr. Light out of heaven. I don't know, but I thought he was a little bit brighter than that. And the way this issue ended, I don't know why they're even continuing. Because, yeah, see, this thing right here called The Foolish Man, I was the foolish man for buying this. Horrible read. Alright, let's get to the disappointing. And the disappointing is All New X-Men. Now, the reason why this is disappointing is not because of the writing. It's the art. If you've seen my other videos, you know I am not a fan at all of this art. And from Ultimate Spider-Man. I'm like, you had such amazing art going in. And granted, this is just a bunch of teenagers now, and they're dealing with emotional issues and day out away from the mansion, and maybe you didn't want to have this gritty, realistic look to it, But regardless, why? Why did you have to pick? I can't even pronounce this guy's name. La Fuente. Why did you do it? Because this is the worst art. This does not belong in a Marvel comic book. This belongs in something along the lines of maybe Archie or something. Because this is, I'm like, really? But the story's great. Don't get me wrong. The story part is fantastic, and that's the only reason why I can get through this mess. And just so you know, basically, it's Jean Grey having issues because she claims she doesn't love Scott any longer, and she loves the Beast because she picked up something in the Beast's mind, the adult Beast, going, well, geez, I wish I got onto that Jean Grey bandwagon back when I was a teenager. And I'm like, oh, God. I'm like, and they're advancing her powers so much that I don't know how she's going to be able to go back and, have the stories end the way they ended, because her power level is drastically increasing. And I don't know how they're going to fix that part of it. But anyways, that's the good, the bad, and the disappointing. If you have any comments or questions, let me know. Let me know what your good, your bad, and your disappointing is down in the comments below. I'll have more reviews later, so, and, let me get you a code. By gosh darn it. There's code number 1, and I'll give you the Spider-Man code also. Alright, and I'll have more reviews later, so until next time.